Namaskar, welcome back. 24 years ago this week, Narendra Modi took oath as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. He had never been an MLA, not even a Panchayat leader until then. His taking oath in a public office without any experience in governance made some people raise questions about his lack of experience and not being a part of the system. From that day till today, Narendra Modi has not only led governance in Gujarat and subsequently in the country, he has completely changed the rules of the game, the benchmark for development and governance. How did he do it? How was the journey? And is there more to come? These are all the questions we shall be going into in Media Scan this weekend, and for that I have stalwarts with me in this very special episode. But before that, a quick look at what we are talking about.
Narendra Modi.
24 years ago, Narendra Modi took oath as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. This was the first public office held by him. But in these 2.5 decades, Narendra Modi has completely changed the rules of engagement, both in politics and governance. From the lofty Sardar Sarovar project in Gujarat to the humble Shauchalaya in a remote village, Narendra Modi has ensured that fruits of development reach the last man standing. Globally, he has made India a force to reckon with. Domestically, he has ensured saturation in delivery. He has restored trust in the system and brought pride of Bharatiyata back. He is at home with global leaders, but equally comfortable in the humble brick house of the Awas Yojana beneficiary, an outsider who has changed India's politics inside out. So, the quintessential outsider who completely changed the game inside out. Let's move to our guest for the evening. I have here with me Ajay Singh, well-known journalist, has also been media advisor to the President of India, to 2 presidents in fact, and a well-known author, has been tracking Narendra Modi's political career right from his Gujarat days till today. Welcome Ajay Singh, namaskar. Also with us, another senior journalist and author, Sudesh Verma. Like Mr. Singh, he has also authored 2 back-to-back books on the governance and the politics of Narendra Modi. Welcome. And to tell us how Narendra Modi brought a paradigm shift not only in governance but also in the approach towards national security and defense, we have Colonel Danveer Singh, author, television personality and army veteran. And Ajay Singh, if I may come to you first, sir, I know that you have been tracking Narendra Modi's governance, his politics, his personality, right from the days when he took over charge in Gujarat. From then up till now, there have been various stages when he was branded as an outsider. First people said he's not part of the system. Later, when he took oath as Prime Minister, people said, oh, Gandhinagar is different, Delhi is not Gandhinagar, and India is not Gujarat. Again, that outsider branding. However, he has shown that he can go far, far more than any of those so-called insiders of the system. How would you explain this phenomenon?
Well, if you ask me, I know him since 1995 when he came to Delhi as Secretary of the BJP.
Yes.
And he was given the charge of Haryana and subsequently Himachal Pradesh. So, at that point of time, if you were to ask me, I would say that I would not have imagined him transitioning into that role. So, that transition was so smooth that it surprised many. Of course, as you rightly said that he had never contested any election. He was essentially a backroom boy. I mean, he was an organization man who was controlling elections from the back channel.
Yes.
I mean, he was not on the front. So that is how he developed himself, and when he took over the role of chief minister, that was absolutely new thing. And if while researching for my book, I tried to find out how that came about. So somebody told me that he was allotted a room in circuit house, and there he asked for some basic things, and from there he set up his CM's office, and he used to ask his officers as how to read the file, because he was not acquainted with those kind of things. And from there he transitioned himself as a consummate administrator who ran the state for the maximum number of years.
Yes.
And it was very well run. I mean, Gujarat model became a kind of metaphor for all over India. So that is a kind of phenomena which is very difficult to explain.
Yes, and I think we should carry on this conversation further with Sudesh Verma. Sir, as you have just heard, Ajay Singh was telling us that from a complete organizational man to someone who took over the reins of the government, and if we look at the initiatives for governance, the policies, programs he introduced in Gujarat, that list is so long. We will try to run some of them on our screen for our viewers just now. But my question is slightly different. We have observed from the beginning, and I am sure you will agree, that whether as Chief Minister or PM, Narendra Modi has never gone for low-hanging fruits, He has always set very lofty goals, and I remember in one of his online speeches, he had said that the most important thing in governance is to raise the bar, keep raising the bar every day. And some of his lofty goals like the Shauchalaya, ensuring a toilet for every household in the country. Similarly, many of the others such as housing scheme, the Awas Yojana, they do say that he has never been satisfied with small goals or small outcomes. He has always looked at something which many would say was impossible on the first day.
Yeah, Smita, thank you. You see, I would like to add something to what Ajay said, and then I will come to your question direct. You see, if you try to analyze Narendra Modi today, then you have to go back to the background. And if you go to Vadnagar, where he actually grew up, and you see the kind of poverty the family had witnessed. So there was an internal rebellion in him that a solution must come to the problems of governance, which he was witnessing on a day-to-day basis. You see, when he went to, say, become a hermit, he left everything and went to mountains, and then he was instructed by Ramakrishna Mission that don't go, you are born for bigger things. It was all because there was internal rebellion. That what should I do? What should I do was always there, because my life has to be meaningful.
So, I mean, because of his humble backgrounds, you are saying he had a sort of hunger
to
do something really substantive.
He had seen poverty. Imagine his mother working at the houses of other people.
Yes.
And he knew that this is the problem of governance that must address these issues. So whether it was in his college days at Visnagar, or as a school, student where he used to do theatres, and the kind of roles he played, the role was also revolutionary. Like Pillow Fool is a drama which he acted where Dalit is not allowed to enter the temple premises, and his mother dies, and he has acted in that Pillow Fool dramatics. So it was always social reformation, So he wanted to do something. He joined the RSS, went to intensely, because he must become part of a big organization to be meaningful. And this you see translating into him when he was a chief minister also. I remember there is a very good anecdote which I have given in my book also. You see, a young girl went on behalf of her organization, and she said that we want to own up some villages for development. So he asked how many. He said we want to begin with one. So he laughed and asked his secretary to give. But he said that ask your organization to adopt at least 100 or 1,000. India is such a huge country.
Exactly the
to
point.
To be meaningful, you have to be on a very large scale. So all his actions, were as administrator, when he became the chief minister and prime minister, is trying to address that at a very large scale.
Yes, and that is what we have been trying to underscore here, that in a country, with the kind of diversity and the scale of India's population, small low hanging fruits will not work to bring true transformation, because such is the nature of our country. But the macro goals, the lofty goals cannot be achieved till we go down to the micro, which Narendra Modi has shown by ensuring delivery to the last mile, Antyodaya, that is ensuring the fruits of democracy to the last citizen standing in the queue. Ajay Singh, I want to understand from you, sir, isn't it a fact that before Narendra Modi took charge of things, it was always in the minds of the people that government schemes were not really meant to reach those they really were meant to reach, and that infamous quote from a former prime minister, the 85 paise versus 15 paise. So, I think for the first time, Narendra Modi has ensured through DBT and by ensuring other procedural mechanisms that government schemes can actually reach those they are meant to reach.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, if you see, I mean, right from the inception, right from the beginning, he had an agenda. So he declared that everybody should have an account, and that account should be linked to Aadhaar. So that he tried to plug the loopholes, that money meant for poor, that should not, I mean, that should not go away to other sources. I mean, it should not be gobbled up by those who are in the middle. So he had that, and the second thing which should not be undermined, that the robust digital infrastructure that he has created, it has allowed access to opportunity for everyone. More recently, I was in US. So I found that in universities, there were students from tier 1, tier 2 cities. So I asked them, how did you reach here?
Yes.
So they came there because of digital infrastructure, because there is access to opportunity. Now it's not confined to students of Delhi, Mumbai or that kind of city. So this creation of infrastructure and this agenda that money meant for poor should go to poor, that was the uppermost thing in his mind, and that made all the difference.
Yes. In fact, I would like to have a more conversation on this connectivity and infrastructure question. But before I come back to you, Sudesh Verma, I want to go to our colleague, our friend Colonel Danveer Singh, who has been watching and writing about Narendra Modi's defense policy, his approach towards national security for a long time. Danveer, would you agree that in Narendra Modi's tenure, there has been a paradigm shift in our approach towards national security? In fact, if there is any transformation visible in a big way, it is in our approach in defense and security.
Absolutely, and it is not only visible, it has been very recently manifested with a very loud bang. I'll take you back to what Mr. Narendra Modi just highlighted in one of his speeches at Mumbai, wherein he spoke about Chidambaram and his interview, wherein he said that UPA government wanted to take action after 9/11 and could not take, because Condoleezza Rice had put pressure on India that India should not take any action against Pakistan. Now, while whatever rhetorics may float around this particular interview, but the fact of the matter is that India did not have the capability nor the capacity, or I'll put it that India did have the capability in short term, but did not have the capacity in long term in case India had decided to take action then. Because if the things spiraled out of control, India would not have been able to handle that. And probably that was one of the reasons that constrained the UPA government. Now, also in context, we should look into what General V.K. Singh, who was their chief of the army staff then, had said that India lacks war reserves. we do not have war reserves more than 48 hours. So, not having war reserves more than 48 hours, then Chidambaram saying that we could not carry out action, though we wanted to, because of Condoleezza Rice.
And I am reminded, Danveer, those days
Yeah.
in the tenure of UPA too. I mean, every other day there used to be headlines that we do not have ammunition enough even for a
Absolutely.
week or a fortnight or even for a month. They were very worrying headlines.
So, weak political will, poor defense infrastructure and capacity, and weak foreign policy. These were the hallmarks on the eve when Prime Minister Narendra Modi took over as Prime Minister of India.
Right.
Now,
Yes.
starting from then till date, the defense manufacturing has gone up from mere importer. Now we are a very major importer as far as defense equipment is concerned.
Exporter.
We are
Yes.
exporter. We are exporting equipment from Morocco to Philippines and Vietnam. Yeah, defense equipment. Brazil is interested. So many other countries, African countries, are interested in the Indian equipment. And likewise, not only the capability has enhanced as far as Indian armed forces are concerned, the capacity has also enhanced a lot and many folds. That is why it was very easy for the government comparatively to take a decision to bring down the terror infrastructure in Pakistan.
Exactly.
And when Pakistan tried to play belligerent and try to finger us, we sorted them out in our second wave of action during that same period, wherein we destroyed their 11 air bases. So that's the level of defense preparedness that has come by, starting from, say, 2012 onwards till this date.
Fine. I would request you to stay on with us, Danveer. I want to come back to Sudesh Verma here and discuss something slightly different from the defense and security paradigm. And Sudesh Verma, apart from all those issues which relate to governance and delivery and infrastructure, etc., it is also a fact that after many, many decades, perhaps for the first time since independence, Indians, Bharatiyas have been made to feel proud and stand up with with pride for their Indian roots, their Bharatiya roots, their culture, and in multiple programs, uncountable events, Prime Minister has laid stress on the fact that we can only make a place for us globally if we are proud of our roots and we stand up for our roots proudly instead of being apologetic about our ancient wisdom.
Smita, when we are faced with onslaught from the western side in terms of cultural, things that are coming, which may not suit Indian society, at that time cultural regeneration is a must thing, and that has happened under this regime. If you talk about, you call it Hindu culture, you call it Indian culture by any name, but those cultural ethos have actually impacted one and all. Now, India is known outside by its cultural ethos, like its family system, and people are even in the West saying that yes, if you have to go back and understand how to sustain ecological and cultural life, then India is the destination. They are looking at India not only as a tourist destination, but also to learn human values. But when we talk, as for example, about ecology, about environment, there is not something which we are aping the West. It is something which is inherent in our culture. And those things, when you talked about earlier, people would laugh at you. But now these things have been established. Like
no,
I
but
remember,
the question is, our ancient wisdom, our roots, our strengths, our Indian way of life has been around for the longest time. It was Narendra Modi who brought out that feeling that there is no need to be apologetic.
When we talk of becoming, the Vishwa Guru, Vishwa Guru is not actually in terms of military might or economy, although these things are also important.
Part of
because
it.
people will not respect you unless you are strong militarily, and they also know that you can exercise that power if needed. if somebody is trying to hurt you, that is also a part of our culture. Economically, we were the richest country in the world. सोने की चिड़ियाँ बोली जाती थी, आपको याद होगा. तो क्यों बोली जाती थी? Because of our economic empowerment. But that empowerment has gone down, and we went to the Hindu rate of growth, which was 2.5 to 3%. जो लोग हंसते थे पहले, हमें वो बोलते थे that snakes and ladders kind of a story. But that thing, no, people now remember with IT. But IT is blended well with the culture. If you talk to an Indian outside, he represents his culture whether he wants it or not, because it has been embedded through his acculturation process as a part of the family, and this family root is very strong, and we need to understand this, and Modi ji has always been stressing on this, and all
Yes.
his, say for example, all his welfare schemes about which you spoke about, Ajay Singh ji spoke about,
They are very
these
Indian in
they are
their-
women centric.
Yes.
Women centric. So which culture has given more respect to women
Correct.
than any other culture? It's the Indian culture. So when
Okay.
they are getting, women
Sudesh
are getting
Verma,
the-
we do
Yeah,
not have
sure.
much time left, so allow me to touch upon a couple of other
Sure,
issues
sure.
before we wind up. I want to come to Ajay Singh here. Sir, there is one interesting fact, and I'm sure you are the two people who will be able to tell us best about it. Notwithstanding all these lofty goals and the 100% saturation delivery that Narendra Modi has ensured, from the days of his Gujarat tenure right up till today, I think no politician, no political leader in this country has faced the kind of vicious attacks, relentless attack on his personality, on his governance, on his politics as Narendra Modi has. And yet, he was the longest serving Chief Minister of Gujarat, and it is his third term here too. How do you think he is able to navigate those relentless, continuous attacks and yet not, get distracted from his goals?
As you rightly said at the start, that he was an outsider. So, being an outsider, when he got integrated into this, so there was a kind of resistance. That was number one. He came from a background which did not entitled. I mean, it was not a kind of entitlement. He acquired it. My understanding is that his understanding of the Indian society and social psychology was so profound that it was difficult to stop him. So, despite all the vicious attack on him by so many people, from
Including
elitist,
global.
yeah, from elitist to anglicized, Anglophiles, and everybody, because there were comments on his English
Yes.
accent, or as if knowing English is something important.
Yes, can ensure good governance.
Yeah, yeah. So he defied the stereotypes all through his
Yes.
life. So that defiance of the stereotype was his hallmark. And second, which I feel is very important, and I have been saying it all along, that I have never seen any leader who has so profound an understanding of Indian social psychology as Modi has.
Right. Sudesh Verma, you want to add to that?
Yeah.
I mean, from his journey from a railway platform in Vadnagar to carrying India to the global high table, and we are constantly rising in as an economic powerhouse, but also internationally as a leader of the entire global south.
You see, he was never part of the system. He was never co-opted by the system, and he never co-opted the system. So when such a person comes to power, I recall an incident which is vividly given in my book also, that when Gujarat riots happened, two representatives of two prominent newspapers, one was English, went to meet him, and the in charge for Gujarat, late Arun Jaitley ji, who is no more, and told him that we can create your image, this is what we want. And then when Narendra Modi ji and Arun Jaitley ji, they spoke among themselves what to do, they flatly refused that we cannot do, you do whatever you want. You do your job, we'll do our job. And I am in politics, we want to set certain standards, so we'll do that. So imagine after that the vicious attack started, and everybody came as if it
Okay.
was something personal. Nobody was looking at his governance model. Whenever you talk of, people started talking about riots, whether he goes to lecture anyone. So same thing happened here also. Lutyens Delhi, it has never adopted anyone coming from his background. They will never co-opt. And Modi ji also did not co-opt, because all the decisions he took, like stopping his scholarship that were going mostly to leftist people, then putting ban on NGOs, they were taking
And decolonization.
money. Yes.
It
so,
is such
so
a
what happened?
huge project.
All these people came together.
Yes.
And started attacking. They have nothing to do, because they know that they cannot come to power till he decides that he has to abdicate now, and it's a long time. It's not going to come.
So
because
you think dislodging him is not possible?
it's not possible. So start a narrative,
Attacking.
Try to create problem for him wherever he goes abroad. You have seen the deep state. You have seen how that role model comes to India. A lot of books have been written on
Yes,
this.
yes.
So now the issue is, what will they do? What will Mr. Rahul Gandhi do? What will others do? Because he is not, his example, as far as I know him, his example is Lee Kuan Yew. Till late, he administered Singapore so well, and he brought Singapore to this level, a small country which has become a global
And
hub.
in fact, he has
So that is his
also
example.
expressed his appreciation for him a couple
So
of
those
times.
who expect that
But on the
Modi is
question of
doing
attacks,
is not happening.
On the question of attacks, Sudesh Verma, I just want to give the last word to Danveer Singh. Just a few seconds left. Danveer, we are talking of attacks on, that have been going on relentlessly on the Prime Minister, his governance. If there is one word in defense which has really changed, everyone's approach, that is the point of Atmanirbharta in our defense. That is to make us self-reliant, because only then we will be recognized as a real global power. But even on the Atmanirbharta front, there have been lot of questions and reservations and saying this is completely, impractical, etc. Quickly a comment on how do you look at those attacks on the question of Atmanirbharta, which is now showing wonderful results.
Absolutely. The actions speak louder than the words. So this is what is happening. Now, whether it is Atmanirbharta as far as equipment is concerned, A, or whether it is a full drive on infrastructure on the border and the LAC region, B. So, be it Pakistan, be it China, this Prime Minister has done amazing thing to get the India's power message across. Even the Chinese have started respecting the Indians. Just to remind you, there had been massive incursions once upon a time, and India carried out Operation Kailash that showed Chinese their vulnerability, that showed Chinese the preparedness of the Indians, and that made them backtrack. So they have withdrawn from almost all the areas, in fact, all the areas that they had come inside at that point in time. So
And
this is
as
how
you said, instead of going shopping worldwide, we are having people from other countries come to us for equipment, arms, technology, etc.
Absolutely.
But I am afraid, gentlemen, that's all the time we had at our disposal in this episode. As you can see, we've been trying to pack in as much as possible. It's a vast, impossible subject to put it in the confines of an episode. But as our gentlemen have pointed out here, after all these things, the politics, the governance, the delivery, the infrastructure, the economic growth, if there is one word that explains Narendra Modi's tenure, both in Gujarat and in Delhi, it is the point of restoring trust in the system. Trust is the buzzword with which one can identify his government, his politics. There is a lot more to come, but for now, it's a wind up on Media Scan this weekend. Do join us next weekend. Namaskar.